When you're buying a property, are there hidden costs? Absolutely, there are. My name is Sergej from neuHouzz team. Today, I'm going to share with you a few major things that you have to look out for and be ready when you're buying a property. So let's say when you are interested in a specific property, is X amount of dollars, it's all you have to have, which is a listed or agreed price upon the accepted offer? Absolutely not. You have to make sure that you have some hidden cash in your side pocket or in your bank account for additional expenses. What are they? Well, there's a couple of common ones. You know that you will have closing costs. That is either to a notary or to a lawyer to complete the title transfer from the seller's name to your name. And that cost is usually anywhere between $1,000 to $1,800, depends if you're using notary or lawyer, and then it varies in that range. What's the other thing? Well, we're all aware that there's sometimes a home inspection. In my case, when I'm looking at properties and evaluating them, of course, I'm not only using my past construction experience and knowledge about what the property should like, because I've seen thousands of them and I have built homes, but I'm also scanning, okay, is the property needs to be evaluated by a home inspector, and then do we have to get additional, maybe contractors, electrician, plumbers, or some environmental testing guys into that property to check on all of those things that might arise. So it varies. Every time it's different. So single family detached homes, for most part, it's almost always. Condos, not so much. And that's a different conversation why condos maybe not required a home inspection. What about new construction? Hell yeah. Unless you know the developer, you know they're reputable, you know that you've seen the houses they've been building. But the new construction, especially if you're working with an agent who's working out of the area, they never been here, they don't know nothing about it, then you have to get the home inspector in so they can check everything to make you comfortable and give you a report that yes, the developer, the builder is doing an excellent job, have done an excellent job on this new construction. So those are the common ones. What about the hidden ones, guys? Well, be prepared that you will need an insurance policy if you are using a mortgage. So a lender will require for you to show proof of for your insurance policy before they advance the funds to you. So you have to acquire a policy and you have to pay for that. That could be a little bit. What about statement of adjustment? What do you have to wait there? Well, statement of adjustment is at the end when the lawyer is transferring property in your name. For instance, what could be extra charges? It could be utilities. What if the utilities been prepaid? And almost sometimes it is an annual property tax that you will have to reimburse the seller. Imagine they paid for 12 months in advance, and 2 months later, after they made a payment, you took possession of that property. They're not going to be just giving you 10 months worth of annual property tax. They will ask for that to be as a reimbursement, a credit to them at the end, at this time when the lawyer is transferring names from the seller's name to your name. What else? Well, property transfer tax. Everybody who is in British Columbia purchasing a property, you are paying this PTT, property transfer tax. How does it work? 1% on the first 200,000, 2% on anything above 200,000, and then 3% above $2 million. So there could be substantial expense there. You have to be ready to come up with that money. GST on the new construction. Yes, it will be that 5% asked of you when you're buying something brand new. Appraisal fee, it's a good one. Here's a tip for you, negotiating tip. When you're talking to your mortgage broker or a lender at your bank, ask them, hey, do you think there could be an appraisal on this property required? And they might say yes or no. And you say, well, listen, if there is, who's going to be paying for that? And they might say, well, it's paid by the client. This is your opportunity to say, you know what, we would really appreciate if you might consider picking that up and including it in with your services. You need to ask in order to get it. So, hey, pro tip for you. What else? Well, moving costs. You have to count on those moving costs because that is just, nobody's moving you for free unless you've got buddies and your beer is really cool and then you buy pizza. So there's a good one, a GPR. What is GPR? Well, it's a ground penetrating radar scan. For anybody who's looking at buying properties that are from the early 90s, mid 90s. And you aware that there's a chance that maybe there was an underground oil storage tank? Man, you need to think about it really carefully if you're doing it or not. And what's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is if you buy a property, your realtor doesn't proactively see that and doesn't talk to you even about it, and you purchase the property only later to find out that you start digging to put a post or something or plant a tree, and you hit something and you come across a tank that is buried in the ground. Man, that is not something I would want to come across when I bought the property. Those remediation costs could be in tens of thousands of dollars to the homeowner. And I'm strongly advising you guys, be very careful when you're buying those properties from the early 90s to mid 90s. There is a chances that the oil tank could have been on the property, and it's worst case scenario if it was buried and nobody knows about it. So here it is, some hidden costs. You guys, hopefully that was helpful. Be sure you're working with an agent who is, proactively thinking about all those things, covering your behind, so you're not behind in your payments. No pun intended. But hey, guys, enjoy the day. Of course, check out the properties below. There's a list of 5 homes that were the most popular this week. Check them out. If you got questions, reach out to us, and we'll look after you top notch. Peace.